I should have done this immediately. I'm just going to put power to the battery and try to move it just now under its own power. I think I'm going to have to change my plan slightly. Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video on my 2023 Audi A4. I have pretty much all of the parts that I need to get this thing ready for the body shop and its MOT. There's loads of stuff to do. I'm just going to crack on and get this thing buttoned up. The first thing I'm going to do is replace that window glass on the driver's side because it's been a nightmare having to try and store this outside. So let's get straight into it and start with that. Yeah, so I'm just about to move this car forward just to give me access into that door panel to change this glass. And it just occurred to me that I've not actually put this car in drive since I bought it. So fingers crossed it actually goes into gear and moves forward, even if it is only 3 feet. But I'm just going to put power to the battery and try to move it just now under its own power, so let's do that. So now that I've got the door card off, I've taken this cover off here to give me access to the clamp that holds the actual window glass in at this side. And then I need to take this speaker off here, this speaker off, and that'll give me access then to the clamp that's on this side. But before I do that, I'm going to need to take a hoover in here and get rid of all this broken glass, because I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, there's a fair bit. So yeah, I'm just going to proceed and do that just now. So that was just a couple of seconds on camera for you guys, but I didn't appreciate that it was going to take about an hour to hoover all of that glass out of the bottom of here. It was just so difficult to get a hoover nozzle into, so I've removed every single shard of glass, so you can't hear any glass inside it now. I should have done this immediately, because every time I get in the car there's glass inside it. I think I'm going to offer up the new glass. It's still in its packaging to keep it safe, so I'm going to offer it up and see if it clips into place. So yeah, let's unpackage that and have a look. So it looks good, it's intact, that's the first thing I noticed, but I've no idea what shape this is supposed to be, because obviously I've just hoovered mine out of the bottom of my door. So like for these actual for the actual holes for the clamps and stuff like that, I've no idea if this is correct. It says Audi S4 on it, so as far as what era of S4, I don't know. But yeah, let's just offer this up to the window regulator and see if it, first of all, looks like the right size, and second of all, if those clamps that I have on my regulator are actually going to take this. So yeah, let me take this film off of here and offer this up to the door. Right, let's fit this up to the car and see if it actually fits. Yeah, it's looking promising. I don't know if the camera picked it up or not, but like it clicked home into the two clamps here and here. So the holes were in the right place. It looks roughly the correct sort of shape for when it goes up, and it's seated in all the rubbers. So I guess the main test is going to be putting some power to this again and trying to wind this up, and putting my fingers crossed that it doesn't go in a million bits and I've got to hoover out this door again. I need to plug in the door card again good start. So I've just been feeding this boroscope down. I don't know, yeah, the window's not going all the way up and I was wondering why, but as you can see, I don't know if the camera shows that there, but there's some glass wedged in the actual channel that the window's trying to move up and down, so I'm just trying to get rid of that. Right, so finally, as you can see, I've got this window in the up position. If you're going to attempt this yourself, the first thing you have to do is make sure that this side is in the runner first. For me, like, I had shards of glass in here which I wouldn't have been able to find without the use of my boroscope. So I just fade the camera down. I was seeing shards of glass that were stuck in the runners and stuff, so just fished them out, but my window was hitting that shard of glass and then jumping out the runner. That's what my issue was. So yeah, quite easy to do once you clear all of the old glass out. But anyway, that's a regulator in place now. I've also finally put some charge in this battery so that I don't need to keep putting a jump pack on it. But there's the window, fully down, fully up. So yeah, it's ideal. It means that I can now put this outside. So I'm just going to do the reverse of actually taking this apart. I'm going to get the speaker fitted, the door card fitted, and that should be that done then. So yeah, let's do that. Right, that's the door card and everything back together, window in, everything works, speaker connected, everything. So yeah, that's another job off the list. This is another thing here that's on the to-do list as well. In the accident, this cover's obviously been knocked off of here. I couldn't get the cover by itself, so I've actually got the full handle assembly here. So I think everything's okay with mine. I'm just going to remove the actual cover itself, which should be the same color, and just fit that onto here. So this line here has been stopping me from filling this car with coolant because this end was snapped off in the accident. So I had a spare coolant hose from something else lying around, so I went ahead and removed this connection and replaced it, but it was the wrong size connection, so I actually ended up buying the whole new line with the T-piece and the correct connection here. So when I get that connected, I'll be able to fill it with coolant then, because every time I was filling it with coolant, although it was circulating around the radiator, it was just coming straight out of here. So that'll be the last connection in this cooling system to make this completely watertight, and then I can fill it with coolant and run it up to temperature. So I'll just fit that right now. So a simple job, and it's one that's ticked off the list. Now this should be good to actually fill this car with coolant now. So I've got this stuff here. Apparently this is the correct stuff. Typically it was the most expensive stuff that they had. So I think this should be good. It's a 1-to-1 mix between this and water. So yeah, let's just do that now, and then I can try and run it up to temperature and see if it actually runs to temperature and stays there. So yeah, there she is. It's a very quiet engine, this. I don't know how loud it comes all across on camera, but it's so quiet. But as you can see, the coolant is sitting just below the max there. It's just burping itself because I filled it just above the max. So if more air comes out of that and the level goes down, I'll just top it up. But as you can see underneath the car, there's no drips or anything. I'm just going to let it warm up, and hopefully it goes to temperature, stays at temperature, and keeps all of the coolant in it. So yeah, exciting. It's nearly time to take this for a drive, and yeah, the engine sounds sweet as well. I've only been starting it for quick bursts since I fitted it, because obviously there was no coolant in it. I didn't want to overheat it or anything. So there's no errors on the dash. There is an engine management light on, but this has run out of battery, so I'll see what that code is for and take it from there. But there's no coolant light on the dash anymore. So yeah, fingers crossed. Label's still on the max. So yeah, let me just run this up to temperature, and I'll cut back in when it's actually sitting at the correct temperature and everything's okay. I think this is probably a good opportunity to put a code reader on this and see what errors this car is showing. I've not been able to run this car long enough to run any sort of diagnostics on it. So just while it's getting itself up to temperature, I'll go ahead and read those codes and we'll see what errors this car is showing. But just before I do that, I'll show you what errors are on the dash. It is showing a few errors on this dash, but given its history and the fact that it's had no power, it's quite understandable. But just the errors that the dash is showing just now, you can see there's quite a few lights on. So it's showing TPMS fault. Well, 2 of the tires are flat just now, so I think there's an issue there, but maybe there's a battery that it needs or whatever. But I'll pump the tires up, read the codes and check to see if it's a faulty sensor. Obviously it's low on fuel. Brake pads, it might need brake pads for its MOT, and that's it on the dash. There is obviously the airbag light there and an engine management light, so I'll read the codes and see what it's actually given. And just as a side note, you can see this green line here is a really common fault on these, and this car's only done 29,000 miles, and yeah, it's not ideal. So I'm going to need to replace this screen that's in here as well, which is just yet another expense. Right, so I've just read the codes on the code reader here. I'll show you what it says, but I think I'm going to have to change my plan slightly. I'll show you why. So I've had the car running for a minute now, and I've finally realised how to actually display the temperature gauge in here. So as you can see, it's been running for a fair minute now, and it's not registering anything on the temperature gauge. And I think some of the codes on here are maybe why. So like, I don't have that cooling fan isn't connected. There's also the air temperature sensor isn't connected. I don't know would that do anything. The active grille shutter, all of this is to do with the actual cooling system, and none of that is connected. The reason I say that I've got to change my plan is because I had planned to run this up to temperature and make sure everything was okay, but I think I'm going to need to turn the car off and take the front bumper off. I've got all of the components that it's missing, like the air temperature sensor, the cooling fan. I've also got that active grille shutter, but just personally for me, the priority is I've got the wishbone for the suspension, the bent arm that's on this driver's side, so I'd actually quite like to fit that first, just in case there's something else bent that I couldn't see. So I want to fit that wishbone, and I'll see if that then brings that wheel forward, and then I know that the suspension is done, the mechanics are done. I just need to then do the sensors on the front. So let me get it in the air. I'm going to replace that suspension arm quickly first, and then we'll move on to the front end stuff. So yeah, just a quick reminder, just while the car is still on the floor, I'll just show you what the difference in the wheels are, because I don't think I've shown in this video what the difference is. So this is the passenger side wheel. You can see that the gaps, the back and then the front, they're quite even. The wheel's quite concentric. And then if I go around to the driver's side wheel, you can see that it's absolutely nothing like it. It's sitting far too far back. So in the last video, I identified what I think was the cause, and it's a suspension arm, which I've got in the back of the Audi. So let me just get this in the air, take that arm out, and we'll compare it just to see if it looks bent. But yeah, hopefully that'll sort that problem. So these are the remaining parts that I've got to fit to this Audi, and there's nothing too exciting. Under trays, the grille shutter thing, the bits of arch liner, but the package that we're focusing on just now is this one here, which is the suspension arm. So yeah, certainly a first impression is it looks a lot shallower of a bend than what's on my car. So let's get the Audi up in the air, and we'll have a look and compare this. So these are the two suspension arms. Now, obviously this dirty one is the old one. It's not as misshapen as I thought it was, but it's definitely bent. I mean, if I line that up perfectly like that, You can see how much it's off there. Hopefully replacing this arm here is going to be enough to put this wheel back to where it should be. So I can't see anything else that's bent in there. But yeah, let's fit the new one and see how the wheel looks then. You really don't want to tighten this sort of thing up, these arms and that. You don't want to tighten them fully until you've got some load on the actual suspension itself, because then if I tighten this up and torque it to spec, as soon as this comes up, then there's actual weight on the suspension. This is going to go like that and twist, and this bush in here will become twisted and distorted, and it'll put the car all over the road. It'll be bad for that bush. So I'm just going to tighten everything roughly, hand tight. I'm going to get my transmission jack under here, then put some load on this, and then I'll tighten that up. So yeah, I'm just going to do that just now. Yeah, so already that's looking quite promising. That's it all tightened up and everything, so yeah, it looks far better. Let's get the wheel on till we see, just to make sure. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. It looks a lot more even now. I'll just do the finger test. Sort of 4 fingers, fits perfectly in behind the wheel. Four fingers perfectly behind the wheel, so I think yeah, I think that's the suspension taken care of. Yeah, let's move on to the next thing. And I think the next thing is going to be this. This is the active shutter. I've not opened any of these parcels yet, so I'm hoping that this is what I ordered and it fits my car. So yeah, it looks like the same. Yeah, like, you are ruining my cuttings. Are you ruining my cuttings? Or are you making them better? Yeah, so this looks like the same active shutter as what I've got on my car. So the part numbers all line up. They're all the same. It looks okay, and it's OEM, so it should go on here not bad at all. So the first thing that we need to do is get this bumper back off so we can see where this goes and get it fitted into place. So yeah, it's not ideal. This grille is absolutely perfect condition, but this tab here was broken off. It must have got broken in transit, but it's very flimsy plastic, so it's OEM, and the actual grille itself looks perfect. So I've just glued this back on. I've got really strong epoxy resin that I've put on there, so that should be good as new. At the end of the day, it's only for holding a very light piece of plastic to the front of the car. So I didn't realise this, but on the front of my rad pack that I got with this front end, the actual housing for this shutter vent was actually attached to it, and I didn't realise that. I thought this was just a cover, and that actually slid in behind this, but yeah, I didn't realise till I was halfway through taking it off that this is exactly what is broken on mine. So I think I'm going to swap these slats, motor, housing, everything over to this here, so that I've repaired this, and to be fair, it's absolutely solid, but I think just so that I can say that the housing for this is actually completely intact and OEM, I'm just going to transfer everything across. So that wasn't as hard a job as I thought it was going to be. It's quite fiddly with all these slats and stuff, making sure that they're all overlapping the correct way. And this motor had to sort of be actuated by hand just to try and get access to the screws. But I mean, that's it all together now, and then this is all fixed. So now that this assembly is back together now, I'll fitted to the car. It's not too hard, it's just a couple of T30s, so yeah, I'll just throw this back in the car and then we should be good to go. Couple more error lights, because obviously this here, the motor itself and then this sensor, they were both unplugged, so yeah, a couple more lights off the dash. So yeah, one of the errors that was on the dash was for the cooling fan not being connected. I was worried in case it was going to turn out to be like broken wires or a faulty connection or something like that, but I'm working on a few cars just now and it's difficult to keep track of what stage I left each one at, and this was actually, I put on the bumper for safekeeping and it's just been stored on the car basically. So as you can see, hopefully, I mean it's dark, but there, that's the connection on the back of the fan, and there's the plug line there. So yeah, it's just an unplugged cooling fan, so hopefully when I plug that in, then that's going to be another light off the dash. Right, so that's the fan connected, the shutter grille, both the sensors on it connected. There's actually a pedestrian safety sensor like this here, like this one here. There's a connector the same as that goes into that grille, so fingers crossed that actually cancels out my airbag lights. I've got an airbag light on despite no airbags going off on this. These are both connected in, so hopefully now that's another light off with the shutter vent, and then the cooling fan, that's another one off the engine electronics section. Yeah, now I'm going to put the front bumper on. I'm only going to do this with enough bolts to keep it secure. There's no point in putting them all on all over, because obviously I've got these parking sensors to sort as well. So yeah, let's just get this front bumper back on. Okay, so now that I've got all those sensors and everything plugged in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what codes are still on this code reader, and hopefully that's gotten rid of some lights. At the moment, I'm only interested in the ECU faults because I just want to get the car mechanically perfect before I start doing all the little niggly other bits. So I'll look at what's in the ECU and we'll take it from there. So the computer's now finished doing its scan. So there's some of these have turned to passive. That's the ones that I've actually managed to turn off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase all codes and then I'll just see what comes back. So the two codes that come back on the ECU are an ambient air temperature sensor circuit and invalid data received from the instrument panel cluster. I'm thinking that this the code relating to the cluster will be because of the green line that I have going up the middle, and the ambient air temperature sensor. I think I used one that came with the front end that I bought, so what I'll do is I'll go and dig mine out and see if I can swap that sensor over, because it would be good to just get that off. The cooling fan is going all the time too, so I'm assuming that's because it doesn't know what temperature it is and it's confusing matters. So yeah, let me go and swap that sensor over. Okay, so I've just opened the bonnet of the car and I've found what the issue is with the ambient air temperature sensor, and it's not ideal, but I'll show you what I've found. So hopefully you can see, it's kind of hard because I've got the bumper and everything back on now, but this here is the ambient temperature sensor and I've checked and it is plugged in, but if I pull this out, that there is broken wiring. So yeah, it's unfortunate. There's a break in that wire, so that's why it's not registering that temperature sensor. So not ideal, but it's the first example of like wiring damage on this car, so I can't complain too much if that's all that's wrong. So, but I think I'm going to save that for the next video, because I'm conscious that this video is getting quite long now. So guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. I got quite a lot accomplished. Unfortunately, I didn't get all of the finishing touches finished in this video, but there's only minor bits and pieces. I've gotten enough done that I can get everything that I need ordered, all this bumper wiring, loom and everything. So I'll complete all the finishing touches in the next video, get it for an MOT, road test, and hopefully it'll get a clean bill of health, and then it will just be the last teething problems of it being roadworthy again. So if you enjoyed this video, if you're able to give my channel a subscribe and give the video a like, that would be great. If you have any feedback for me on the video style, anything to do with the car, anything at all, if you could send me that, I'll read through it and I'll respond to you. Something that I wanted to ask specifically about the filming: am I showing enough detail on the actual jobs that I'm doing, or am I showing too much detail? Am I talking too much, or am I showing the actual detail enough? Just because I've got so much more footage than what I'm including in these videos, and I'm just trying to get a balance of explaining in enough detail what I'm actually doing and not turning it into a sort of how-to video removing every screw. So if you're able to tell me how the balance looks at the moment, I'll keep it the same, correct it, whatever I need to do, and I'll implement that in future videos. Feel free to put any comments in the comment box below, or you can send me them privately if you wish. I'll respond to all comments. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.